Hello and a very good afternoon from Goa. This is Rishad and welcome to my vlog. So now, over the last 2 weeks, I've been getting a lot of inquiries on this whole thing of smart ownership. So I did a little bit of research, I did my homework, and I prepared a video for you. Smart ownership, how smart is it? Okay, so what is smart ownership? The answer to that is available if you go back in history in the 1960s in the US, also called timeshare. And no matter what these guys tell you, how it's different, it is actually the same. Now, timeshares started in the 60s in the US, where they would take an asset, a unit, a villa or a condominium, and they would sell it, they would divide it into 52 parts. So how do you take a house and divide it into 52 parts? Think about it. The year has 52 weeks. So you sell 1 week to one owner. So 52 owners, 52 parts. And then those owners would own the house and avail of the rental facilities, etc., etc. Now, what do I think of smart ownership? Well, I think there's disadvantages, I think there's advantages, and I'm going to share that with you. To begin with, it's very, very similar than a timeshare. Okay, so it's called fractional ownership. Okay, you roughly get about 6 weeks of residency through the year. So if say there's a villa and you spend, say the cost of the villa, see now I build villas, the cost of my villas that I sell are about 6 crores. And not everybody can afford 6 crores. So what these guys do, they come and they buy the villas from me at 6 crores and they sell it for say about 8 or 10 crores. Now let's say they're selling it at 10 crores. What they'll do is they'll divide it into 50 lakh chunks, right? So you have 20 people investing 50 lakhs and that's how they sell. So they make their margins on the investment. They also make their margins on the rentals, etc. They offer you roughly about 7% rentals. Okay, so your rental, as I said, is 7%. Now the property is managed by them, so you don't have to take care of the management. The property is, when you go there, everything is taken care of. There's staff, there's cooks, there's cleaners. It's like a hotel. So my question to you is, why not just rent a hotel? Because even though they say it's ownership, it's not really ownership. It's actually, you're a shareholder in an asset. The house doesn't belong to you. A company is formed, right? So this is typically how it works. Right. So several people invest into a unit by means of a holding company. So let's say I have built a house, I sell it to this X company. This X company forms a subsidiary company, say ABC Holdings, and ABC Holdings buys this property. Now, they will contact you, you will invest in ABC Holdings, and ABC Holdings then owns that property. You don't own the property, you own shares that you can transfer when you want to sell that property. Does that make sense? Okay, so and then the parent company can have multiple companies below it that own multiple villas or apartments, etc., etc. The beauty about timeshares was that these companies owned multiple properties across the US, and so people who bought could access all those properties at discounted rates. Here you need to book very much in advance. They say 6 weeks, but let's look at it this way. Everybody wants to come to Goa in December. December is peak time. So let's say 10 people buy the villa. 10 families want to come in December. What happens then, right? That's when there'll be an issue and you will not get to live in the villa when you want. Okay? So what are the advantages? Entry and exit are very low. So instead of spending 6 crores, you will spend 50 lakhs. The due diligence is already done by the guys who come to the developer. Okay, so you don't have to worry about paperwork. Maintenance is already taken care of. Staffing already taken care of. These are the main advantages. Now, the rental also already taken care of. You get your fixed rental return and you're happy. What are the disadvantages? You don't really own the home. Let's face it, you own shares of the home. See, when all of us, when we buy a home, we want that home to belong to us. We want our name on the door. We want our name on the as you enter. That's not going to happen. We want to customize the interiors to our fit and finish, our specifications. We want our family pictures over there. That's never going to happen because it's not your home. It's typically like a hotel. Okay? You can't visit when you want. Now the interesting thing is the most people who can afford to buy these large homes are business people. And if you're a business person, business is unpredictable. You can come whenever you want, right? You may say, okay, you know what, I want to come on this date. You may have maximum 2-3 weeks notice. That's not going to happen with these guys. These guys will give you 1 year in advance and you can only have 6 weeks. So you'll have to plan it. Who plans today that ahead their holidays? Only people who cannot afford, right, to have holidays when they want. Those are the people who plan so far ahead. Otherwise, wealthy people, they don't plan. They get 3 days off, immediately they book and they move. Right? So that's pretty much how it works. You can't sell it when you want. You can only sell the shares. So let's assume your property value goes up from, say, first of all, you bought it at an escalated value. But let's say it goes up to 20 crores. You can't sell it. You can only sell your provisional share in that asset. Okay? So, does it really make sense? Do these smart homes, smart buys make sense? I don't think it makes sense on an emotional perspective. Yes, it's a little bit of cut and dry approach to, you give us 50 lakhs, we'll own a property worth 10 crores. I think that's a little bit of a scam and not a scam. So they're not cheating you of your money, but they're selling you a dream where you own. It's like saying, oh, you cannot afford a Mercedes. Well, don't buy the entire Mercedes. Buy only a portion of it, and you can drive it once a month. That doesn't make sense. Then don't buy, right? And that's my philosophy. Live within your means. Why do you want to buy a 6 crore villa and go? If you can't afford it, then come stay in a hotel. Today, Lohono stays. There's so many rental agencies that give you great value. You can rent something out for 20-25,000 a night, beautiful 3-4 bedroom with staff, servants, security, swimming pool, etc. And you can have a great time. So why do you want to spend 50 lakhs or 1 CR and not own the home? I could be wrong, guys. If you disagree with me, you're welcome to share your thoughts and give me a logical breakdown of what you think. But I've really analyzed this. I've looked at timeshares. I've looked at the history of timeshares in the US, in Europe. I've understood why they failed. I understood why banks are very skeptical about putting their money in these kind of businesses. I understood how the mothership, the company that buys, escalates pricing and already makes their margins when they sell it to you. So it doesn't really make much of a difference to them what happens once they have these 10 buyers. Okay, so they're not truly invested in making your life better, your ownership experience better. What happens if you disagree with the other people in your ownership platform? What happens if there's damages? There are so many aspects to this which is still grey, and which is why it failed in the West. Right? Now we imported it here and we are trying to change it. My personal philosophy is, you can't afford something, don't buy it. Simple. Don't get into these schemes where you put a little bit of money and then you don't know what's happening, and avoid it. Come to Goa. The reason you are coming to Goa is to relax and enjoy, not to think about your asset and whether it's appreciating and my neighbor has an issue with this, and it's just too complicated. Come, enjoy, and as far as smart homes go, I do not think they are that smart.